Mark Alford. Do you guys know this guy? He's a representative out in Missouri. And this guy was formerly a TV anchor, and he's gone on to talk about this economy. And boy, he can't wait to drop to a knee, kiss Donald Trump's ass, and point out how great things are.
You're on the House Small Business Committee. Is that what small business owners in Missouri are telling you, that this is an A-plus economy right now for them?
Look, our small business owners, I get that they have been hurt somewhat by some of these tariffs, but the business owners that I talk to are seeing a resurgence in people coming out to shop for Christmas, to shop for Hanukkah, to shop for other holidays. This has not hurt them as they thought it would, not as much. The tariffs have brought in some $400 billion. The president's using some of this money to offset and help our farmers. Many of our farmers are small business owners in Missouri. We have 87,000 small business owners who are farmers in the state of Missouri. They're going to be helped by this.
Mark Alford's trying to push some kind of alternate reality and talking about how these small business owners that he talks to, that no one else hears. I'm not sure if he's recording these conversations, but they're seeing a resurgence in people coming in and businesses booming and coming back. How is it coming back? I thought he took care of this on day one. Like, all those things that just don't make sense. He continued on in this interview here on CNN, and she got to asking him, like, so, okay, you've got constituents that are saying something and you've got you saying something else. Let's see how he tries to wiggle his way through this.
We are helping the American farmers. Donald J. Trump knows the importance of feeding America and the world, and we're going to get it done.
But that's not what farmers are telling you, right? I know that you've heard from them. They say they're hurting from tariffs. I know you had a town hall this summer. KMIZ reported about one farmer telling you it's not just that China was retaliating, they're not buying soybeans, even though that's back now. But tariffs actually drove up prices of fertilizer and other farm goods. So, I mean, this idea of loans, but when you're paying more for goods that you paid a certain price for before, and your margins are pretty slim. Do you think the administration is understanding this? Do you think they're getting that message?
Oh, yeah, they do. And they understand, as I do, that it was Joe Biden that drove up the price of fertilizer and fuel with his war on fossil fuels.
Well, no, that's not what this farmer told you. So what do you say to him?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now.
But that's not what this farmer told you, and he's the farmer who's telling you. He's telling you, and sir, excuse me, this farmer, you heard him. He said this to you.
Russia.
This farmer explained to you when he saw his prices rise.
So yes, we need to look at fertilizer prices. Fuel has come down and will continue to come down thanks to Donald Trump.
He just doesn't listen. Like that's his process. In order to run these types of mindsets and to run cover for Donald Trump, you have to literally not listen to your constituents. So as he keeps continuing talking about how great everything is and folks think prices are coming down, this is his actual perspective. This is who it is that he's serving. This is what he's willing to do.
And if I have to pay a little bit more for something, I'm all for it to get America right again, to start whittling down this $36.5 billion or $1 trillion worth of debt that we have that's unsustainable.
You think that a lot of your constituents feel the same way? They're willing to pay a little bit more?
Well, I think so. I mean, look, we have lived under the oppression of Joe Biden's hyperinflation for some years.
Mark Alford, during the first 100 days, as you saw in that graphic, way back then, he said he's willing to pay more. He's willing to pay more based off of Donald Trump's tariffs so that he can see his vision come to fruition. If the tariffs are doing so great, as he's now pointing out, saying that they're going to all these farmers for the $12 billion, despite their way larger losses than that, and also future markets there, he's willing to pay more. And he thinks his constituents are too. It's almost like he doesn't listen to his constituents. It's a very basic question that anyone listening to him would probably ask. Are you willing to pay more so Donald Trump's vision can come to fruition? His vision of stealing more money from you?
Are you listening to your constituents? Because he was very clear about why his prices were going up.
Brianna, I did 15 stops on a town hall tour, one of the few Congress members on the Republican side and the Democrat side to actually do that. Yes, ma'am, I listened. I took 256 questions and sat there and listened to insults, listened to yelling, listened to name calling, and answered when they wanted to be respectful. I remember that farmer. I understand his concern, but the large number of farmers in Missouri believe in Donald J. Trump and that he's going to get things done.
He talked about how he went to town halls because, he was challenged with whether or not he listens to his constituents, because we keep hearing his constituents say things to him. And then every time they say those things to him, it's pretty apparent that he doesn't listen to them. Who he's listening to is the guy who never has any answers. So let's take a glimpse at one of these interactions he had at a town hall with one of his constituents about what it is he's experiencing, and listen to Mark Alford's answer.
However, I mean, the tariffs did have an effect on this, regardless whether you support them or not. You know, Brazil is now China's top exporter of soybeans, or they import soybeans, and our pork exports to China have dropped like 35% or something like this. Okay, and you talked about the importance of agriculture. In all honesty, these markets are never coming back. You know, they were one of our top customers. You talked about being in business. You don't kick out your top customer. So how do you what do you tell farmers in your district that, guys, these markets aren't coming back? You know, what do you tell the farmers who are losing their farms, or, you know, we have low prices because there's no market for them? What do you say to them, or what is the answer, or whatever?
That's a very good question. What I tell farmers is we don't know the outcome yet of the tariff negotiations with China. That is the big elephant in the room.
He listened to constituents, and that long-winded question that asked very detailed, what are you going to tell farmers who are experiencing something that he pointed out why they're experiencing it and how badly they're experiencing it? I don't know. I haven't got word yet from my master. Donald Trump hadn't told me yet what I should say, do, or react next. He hasn't told me that I can disagree with him yet, therefore I won't do it. This is a grown-ass man acting like this, talking to his constituents who he works for and telling them, I have no answer. That's the elephant in the room. Who knows? I really can't tell. But one thing he does keep telling people like Brianna Killar over on CNN is he listens to his constituents, and boy, do they love suffering. Boy, do they love losing money in markets. This is actually what he feels about his constituents that ask him questions.
It's brought about outside agitators and some people from outside our district, not our constituents, who came there to make their voices heard, and I respect that. They have every right to be there. We did not prohibit them, even though they did not live in our district. But I really wanted to hear from our constituents. That's who sent me to Congress, and that's who I owe really my service to. And they were not really able to be heard. Some of them were there who had worked for the IRS and were getting laid off in Kansas City. And I really wanted to hear their concerns, and let's work together about how can we find you the next job. There are thousands of jobs, 150, 175,000 jobs right now available in Missouri.
You say outside agitators. Are you saying that none of them were your constituents that were there?
No. Some were. Let me make that very clear. Some were our constituents. They clearly were not aligned with my way of thinking, and they did not vote for Trump. But that's okay. I wanted to hear from them
so that I could give them a couple middle fingers after hearing from them and tell them they're going to love all the stuff that I'm going to love having to pay extra for. It's weird. It's like, you know, there's a fascist in the White House, and all of his little minions that he has in these other positions are only there to facilitate his fascism. So everything he wants, he gets. And anybody who asks him questions or challenges him for all the indiscrepancies in his points, they're outside agitators. I think the answer is no, Brianna. I don't listen to my constituents. I'm MAGA.